WLPO, good morning.
Good morning, Rob. This is Wally Woodrick. I was calling, reaching back out to you. I got a message about you wanted to talk about our paddling trip.
I do, yes. Thanks for calling me back, Wally. Thank you. You reached Ottawa on your kayak last night in the middle of the night, I hear.
Yes, we did. About, I want to say it was about 1 o'clock. Everything's all a blur. I'm literally just opening my eyes from sleeping in this morning.
Well, I'm so glad. I'm glad you found the show, and I'm glad I found you too, because I didn't know about your odyssey when you were leaving up in Wisconsin, but you got to see the entire stretch of the Fox River. What, 188 miles of it?
That's correct. We paddled on the Fabulous Fox Water Trail from beginning to end. And we saw the whole darn thing. And boy, let me tell you what, Rod, it is such an amazing river. There's so many different types of things to look at throughout the whole waterway, starting at the top where it's really narrow and windy, through wetlands, and then through cities where it's, a big industrial waterway, and down south towards Ottawa where it's, beautiful area with bluffs, and then right out to the Illinois River right there in Ottawa.
Wow, I'm so excited to be able to talk to you because it was the Paddle for Parks, the Fabulous Fox National Water Trail Challenge. And Wally, and who's your co-paddler? Is it Mike?
Yes, his name is Mike Keith.
Okay.
He's from Elmhurst, Illinois. He's the director of recreation at the St. Charles Park District.
Oh.
And he had an idea where he wanted to try and raise money for awareness for parks and recreation, and to empower the next generation of people who would value parks. And and I apologize, I've got kind of a fuzzy brain here. It's the Illinois Parks and Recreation Foundation.
Right.
And the Illinois Parks and Recreation Foundation has set aside money for scholarships to provide money for the next generation of youth that wants to get into parks and recreation.
Well, if you don't mind me saying, this is a partly personal story. Our son is the Parks and Rec director in the city of Peru. It's just west of you right now, okay, west of Ottawa.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And if you allow me to take a little bit of credit, because growing up, he was one of our three sons who always wanted to be in the outdoors, fishing and hunting and outdoor recreation of all different kinds. And now he's working in that, and so I'm really drawn to this. But the time we spent outdoors is fantastic. How did it start for you? Who took you to the outdoors, and how did it start for you that you wanted to be outside paddling 188 miles of the Fox River?
Well, first off, Rod, I have to say, hats off to you for doing that with your son. Taking your kids outdoors and planting that seed so that he could be somebody who aspires to share the wonders and the everything about being outdoors in parks with others is fantastic.
Yes.
I was lucky enough that when I was growing up, my family, my mom and dad and my brothers and sisters, we did a lot of traveling, went to national parks all over the United States and spent a lot of time outdoors. In fact, when I was growing up too, my brother and I were Boy Scouts, and my sisters were Girl Scouts. So through the scouting program, both boy and Girl Scouts, we did a lot of camping and outdoor-based activities as well. So that's between my family and my mom and dad planting seeds of wanting to be outside, and then also, the scouting program.
Sure.
Both of those kind of set the roots for the love of nature and the wonder of outdoors.
Well, where your destination was in Ottawa, and that's on the east end of Starved Rock country, as we call it. And I don't know if you have any experience in or around Starved Rock, but we like to kayak and paddle around Starved Rock. And, recreational boating and recreational outdoor activities is super big for us around here. And so the foundation, the Parks and Rec Foundation, as Wally just said, they raise money for a good cause. Now, if you don't mind, a couple of questions came in this morning. I was talking about you earlier earlier when you were probably still asleep after your 40-hour odyssey. How did you get around a couple of dams? Now, the one north of Ottawa was the Dayton Dam, but I think there's another one at Yorkville and maybe another one at Batavia. I'm not sure about this. Did you guys have to get out, portage around some of these? Did you have any trouble?
Yes, they were hard. They were really difficult. We didn't have any trouble per se in terms of anything with dangers or peril. But as you paddle and pack your canoe, the canoe gets quite heavy,
right.
And some of the portages were pretty long. Down there at the Dayton Dam in LaSalle County, that's one in particular that's quite a long portage, and your hands get kind of rough and raw, and you might imagine get blisters and everything like that. And then when you have to pick up a canoe that would weigh anywhere between when it was all packed 100+ pounds,
right.
Oh my gosh, that really hurt. And I should have counted this, but I want to say there was about 13 dams on the entire trip, starting with the first dam in McHenry, Illinois, which was kind of interesting because that particular dam not only had a dam to block the waterway, but it was the first and only one on the Fox River that had a lock that boats
really?
could lock through. Yeah. That one was interesting in that regard. We didn't lock through it. We got out and portaged around. And the difficulty with that one is we were planning to meet our crew there, and we came through in the middle of the night / early morning, and the parking lot was locked, so we had to go around that one ourselves and plan to meet up with our crew another spot.
Yeah.
And of course, the people in LaSalle County know too. The one there in Ottawa the one in Dayton is unique in the fact that that's the only hydroelectric one that's on the Fox River as well.
Right, I was reminded of that recently. Now, there's a couple of big ones too, and I think people would be surprised to see how big the Fox River is up around Algonquin, Elgin. I mean, there's recreational boating with big boats up around there. So you went through some rain. What were the water conditions like? Was the river still within its banks? And I'm sure, you did this in 40 hours more or less straight, 188 miles, so you didn't stop too much. Did the weather get in your way?
Oh, absolutely, Rod. In fact, when we started planning this about a year ago, we tried to pick out a time, the beginning of May, when our experience told us that the water levels on the Fox River would be high. Usually around this period of time, the Fox River is super high. Unfortunately, we've had a dry winter, and the first couple of weeks or during April, we just hadn't had as much rain as we usually had. So, believe it or not, the Fox River was down this year, almost to a situation where it was low. So when we started, we did not have optimal water conditions as far as water flow goes. Well, I had said to Mike, it was, we had lamented and kind of groused about the fact that we didn't have any water, and it felt like we made a deal with the devil, because when we were out there on the quest, starting about Wednesday afternoon, it just started pouring and pouring. And so when we were out there,
you're in a canoe, but did you even get a moment of dryness the entire time, or were you soaking wet the whole time?
We had to make sure that we changed through our clothes so we stayed warm, but for most of the day and night on Wednesday into the morning on Thursday, no, we were wet and we were cold, and not only that, but it wasn't just a little bit of misty type of rain. When we were paddling on Wednesday night, it was just coming down. It was hard rain, and it being something that we wanted to do it as fast as possible, we didn't even stop. We just trudged through it, and finally, when it started to get its worst, by the time we got to Algonquin, we stopped for about an hour, and we thought, rather than get on the wrong side of the law of diminishing returns,
right.
we would take an hour and we would rest just a little bit and let a little bit of the rain pass, and we did. and that recharged our batteries a little bit and got us out of the rain for a little bit. Once we jumped back in, it was still raining, but I think overall that was very, very helpful.
Mike and Wally went the entire stretch of the Fox River, 188 miles, and about 1 o'clock this morning they got out at Ottawa. You remind me of Robert Cavalier, named for LaSalle. Robert, yeah, right. He paddled here from New York State in the 1600s.
Yes. I cannot imagine. That's quite the trip. And Rod, just going back to the outdoors thing and loving the outdoors. I've been canoeing my whole life, and I love canoeing. And a neat piece of this whole thing is that I've been a friend with Mike, and we've paddled together all over the country and doing amazing paddling things and amazing experiences in paddling. I've been blessed enough where I've gotten a lot of opportunity to not only do them, I've had the opportunity to do them with my family. Mike's family and my family both were our ground crew, and I'd be remiss if I did not just give them a huge
yeah, they followed you. They followed you along and stopped every once in a while when you had to pull over and get some food or something. I'm sure you had a
correct. They followed us. They followed us the whole way. They stayed up the whole time. They didn't get any sleep as well, and they were the ones that were on the shore to make sure that we had dry clothes. They were the ones that made sure that we had anything that we needed.
Sure.
Right on down to when we needed to take a break. A warm cup of coffee to wake us right back up.
Well, I'm glad you got to Ottawa. Are you in Ottawa right now?
I'm in Yorkville. I live in Yorkville, but the crew. The only reason is that we were a little bit faster than I thought, and the whole crew is down in Ottawa. They're staying at Starved Rock, believe it or not.
Oh,
tonight.
good.
So last night, and I'm going to be staying. I'm going to be going back down to Starved Rock Lodge and staying with everybody, and we're going to celebrate there at Starved Rock tonight.
Well, if you want to support their efforts, you can go to I'd go to the Facebook page called Paddle for Parks, the Fabulous Fox National Water Trail Challenge. The Paddle for Parks. This is Wally. Wally and Mike paddled the entire length of the Fox River. They got into Ottawa about 1 o'clock in the morning. Took them 43 straight hours. And I got to ask you, Wally, what's the next river you're going to do? You're going to do the Vermilion? Which river are you going to do next?
Well, it's funny that you say that, but my son and I, in 2026, the summer of 2026, we're going to start in June with two other paddlers from Minnesota. We're going to do the entire length of the Missouri River,
Wow.
and so not only for Paddle of the Parks, but if you'd like and you're interested, you can go to the Missouri Speed Record, and that's over 2,400 miles that we'll be doing from beginning to end of the Missouri River. So we're really excited about that. My son is 19 years old. I'm really blessed to have the opportunity to do that with him. So
you're gonna retrace Lewis and Clark's return trip.
Yeah, you got it. Well, at least I'm not going upriver like Lewis and Clark.
Exactly.
So, although with Mike's enthusiasm, Mike Keys is the guy who went with his enthusiasm and his gusto about great causes like the paddling for the parks. I'm sure that if we sat down and had a couple of libations and celebrations tonight, that I could probably be talked into doing just about anything.
Yeah, if I get a chance to get over to Starved Rock Lodge tonight, I'll be looking for you in the Great Hall next to the fireplace, relaxing. Okay?
You got it, buddy. You got it, Rod.
Have a good night. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
That's Wally. He and his buddy Mike, they traveled the entire length of the Fox River, came out at Ottawa this morning, 188 miles, 43 hours, 1 o'clock this morning they made it. It's 9:29. It's 103.9 WLPO. If you want to go and see what they did, it's the Facebook page Paddle for Parks, Fabulous Fox National Water Trail Challenge.